Kayak gets my flight, hotel, and rental car right, so I can tune out travel advice that's just plain wrong.
Bro, SkyCoin. Way better than points.
Never fly during a Scorpio full moon.
Just tell the manager you'll sue. Instant room upgrade.
Stop taking bad travel advice. Start comparing hundreds of sites with Kayak and get your trip right.
Bad advice? You talking to me?
Kayak. Got that right.
Last night, you spent 2 hours deciding what to wear to the party. This morning, it'll take you 2 minutes to list it on Depop and make your money back. Just grab your phone, snap a few photos, and we'll take care of the rest. The sheer dress and platform heels you'll never wear again? There's a birthday girl searching for them right now. Your one and done look is about to pay for your next night out. Or at least the ride home. Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
Welcome back to Crime Besties. Here we are for another episode. How are you, Meg?
I am a good.
I'm a good. We are at the tail end of the school holidays. Tell me you're at the tail end of the school holidays without telling me you're at the tail end of the school holidays.
Oh, we are definitely at the tail end of the school holidays. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Love it. I feel like I've had this week's just been like on steroids school holidays.
You've done a lot.
We've done a lot this week. It's been great. Don't get me wrong, but I think my kids are sick of each other's faces. They need some back at school space. Yep. But I'm also really can't stand that, you've got it happening today. It's the online communications with their friends, which is so convenient and great that you don't have a play date. Like, I love it. Like, I know my kids are talking to friends whose parents work from home.
Yeah.
Like, kind of stuff. And so I love that my kids can entertain their kids and let them work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the conversations and stuff that go on and they're yelling at each other.
It's actually so funny. I was just telling you before. So if anybody can hear anything in the background, that's my kids screaming at each other because we are recording on the school holidays.
Yay.
And thanks to Pat for looking after Meg's kids, because if they were here,
could you imagine?
There is no way. We wouldn't be able to record.
No,
they
all hard love each other. So it's like, that would be
a lot of chaos out there.
It's like 4 siblings and anyone who has 4 kids, Jesus Christ, you're amazing.
Hats off to you. But I was telling you before, Lucas, who's 2.5 years younger than Oliver, was having a go at one of Oliver's friends on the chats just before, and the way he was talking, it was so funny.
Yeah.
He's calling him by his nickname, calling Oliver's friend by his nickname, and he's like, what are you even doing? Like, really telling him off because I don't even know what was going on, but it's very, very funny. But I can only hear one side of the conversation usually because they wear headsets.
Yes.
So I don't actually know. I can hear what my kids are saying, but I can't necessarily hear what the other kids are saying. So it's probably not the worst thing in the world, maybe.
Oh, I know. I'm always just like one ear open. Because we have obviously a rule of like, no iPads, no that sort of stuff doesn't go in bedrooms. It's all in the living room where I can monitor.
Yeah.
But I find it hard to monitor sometimes because I don't understand what they're doing. I look over their shoulder and I try and watch what's going on, but they've got a whole different level of understanding of what's going on. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
It's mental.
Yeah.
It's mental.
But I've got to laugh when a really well-known classical song came on the other day. We're out in a supermarket or something like that and a classical song came on and I was like, oh, like that. What's that? I don't know, Beethoven or something like that. And Brody just goes, oh, that song's from Grow Your Garden or whatever game they're freaking playing on Roblox. I'm like, no, mate.
This is actually a classical composer.
Yeah. It's not a Roblox song.
No. But I'll tell you something. I think them playing all these games, it definitely gives them an appreciation for older music. Because a lot of the songs in there are like from, our era.
I was explaining that to them about the copyright issue of thing, and that's why.
That's
what they can use it for. And
the other day, one of the songs that was on there was Wonderwall by Oasis. I bloody love that song.
That has not hit copyright issues.
No, not yet. But so obviously they've paid for it. I don't know. But I was like, this is the stuff. This is what we should be listening to instead of this other shit, which is like, made for not YouTube, made for Fortnite or made for whatever. They're horrible, those things.
Oh God, I see. My kids don't play Fortnite, so I don't get Fortnite at all. I don't know. We've only just recently had Brody asking for it, so I might have to, I don't know, we'll see. I'll have chats with you.
Yeah, actually talk to Peter. He knows. I think you can put in so many parental controls and they can only chat to people that you allow them to chat to.
Yes.
They can't even hear people that you don't let them.
Okay, there are like levels of...
there's lots of parental controls. But anyway, we can talk about that later. We've had a bit of sad news in our family this week. Our little puppy dog Luna. Well, she's not a puppy. She's 13. She's had this lump on her leg for ages, and it was a lipoma. But then it started to change and look a bit funny. And we had her at the vet, and we did a fine needle aspirate during the week, and it looks like it's a soft tissue sarcoma, so a cancer. And we had her in yesterday for a biopsy, so we're just waiting on the results of that to see what we do next. But it's been a very, very sad sort of week in that respect for us, and a very quiet week because of that too, because we've just been trying to, do all the things for Loons and
put
keep
her
her happy. And that's it.
Yeah.
So, that's been a bit of a downer, but also we've had some fun times as well because, school holidays without a trip to bloody time zone and into the city and all of the other bits and pieces that we've done. So trying to balance that all out.
Oh, I mean, they're another part of your family, aren't they? And it's just, it's really not it's not easy at all dealing with that. It's so hard because she's such a gorgeous girl.
She's gorgeous, but she's like, I really feel like she knows that there's something going on too. Because she's very clingy, and I mean, she's always been that kind of dog that kind of sort of follows you around anyway. Yeah. But she's extra clingy and so she must be feeling it too.
Yeah,
poor
we're all
little
thinking
lovey.
of her.
Yeah. But I'm on a sort of more positive note, I am so looking forward to the kids going back to school next week. Not looking forward to the lunchbox aspect of it.
No, not at all. That is the definite sucky thing. Do you know what I've discovered though? That I've over the holidays I've discovered this, and I'm going to continue it once I go back into routines. And I've become obsessed with a TikTok page.
This is worrying me.
It's helping me with my life goals.
Oh, please go on.
Okay, so it's called How Long Does It Actually Take?
I feel like this is going to be really good for you.
So it's for people who procrastinate. So like, there's always that job that you're like, oh, I should do that, but no, who's got time for that? And move on. So this girl is clearly, she's had that part of her life like been pretty huge. Okay. And so she's now, and it's obviously blown up massively for her on TikTok, which is, I love that for her. So she's now like, she does all those jobs that, like that clean out that junk drawer, so it's like, how long does it actually take? And so she times herself doing it.
This is brilliant.
And then at the end of it, she goes, so it actually took 5 minutes and 20 seconds.
For a job you've been putting off for 12 months.
So every episode she like starts off with, so that this is the job, whether it be like, cleaning out a junk drawer or like rearranging the laundry, or so there can big jobs, little jobs. One the other night was like painting like all the trim around the outside of her house, kind of stuff, right? Yeah. And she's just, how long have you been procrastinating this job for? Since we bought the place, so years. And then they get it done in 4 hours.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
So it's really motivating me to get those little jobs done.
What little jobs do you have outstanding? Well, what's on your list?
Well, last week I ticked off like a heap of them, with this motivation.
I love this.
I was really impressed with myself. So pruning back the roses and doing all the gardening out the front that I just like go, oh fuck me, because all the bloody leaves from autumn, got that all done. Cleaned out the junk drawers. I cleaned out my laundry, rearranged a couple of cupboards.
Wow, good on you.
Oh, there was a box in my garage that's been sitting there since we moved. I know what's in it. I knew what was in it. It was just like, I need to empty that box and get rid of the box. And I literally sat there for 2 years.
And you emptied the box?
I emptied the box, put those things away where they went to go, and got rid of the box.
You go, girl.
This no joke, this TikTok is like
It's really inspired
me to get shit done. Because, it probably bloody took me 10 minutes,
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah, get on it.
But it is always those things. And then I'm like, oh, do I want to do it now or do I want it to look nice when I've got someone coming over?
Oh, well, this is the thing, the junk drawer situation. It's like no one else sees that. But I'm constantly going to that drawer going, I know it's in here somewhere. So now the boys came home and they opened the drawer to get something out and they went, Mum, I can find it.
I'm not scrounging around through the drawer.
Yep. Amazing how things can get done when I don't procrastinate.
That's so cool. What a great idea. There's some decent shit on TikTok sometimes.
And so it's done in very good humour.
I love it.
She's really good, really, really good.
Oh, get on it, guys. Follow her.
Follow it. I am obsessed.
I love it. I've got some shout outs for today because we have had a record week in terms of engagement this week. So thanks to everybody who's reached out, and there have been so many people.
Is that because we're coming off the back of Peter Falconio case and therefore Bradley Murdoch dying?
Yeah. So we've got this fucking uncanny knack. I'm calling it.
Oh, totally.
Because, for example, we'd recorded our Easy Street episode and then that week they arrested someone in relation
we literally had to bring that forward for release because we were like, because we were really far ahead at that point for some reason.
We were weeks ahead.
Yeah. And we were like, oh, God, we can't leave that now because, we'd recorded it a couple of weeks prior to that.
Yeah.
But, oh, crazy.
And we've had other instances where, for example, the Beaumont Children episode that we recorded, we didn't realise that was released on the anniversary date and we didn't even know we were doing that. No. And then also now with Peter Falconio, this week, Bradley Murdoch died this week in custody.
Yes.
Fucking good riddance.
Oh,
I think in the episode we said he was expected not to outlive this year.
Yeah, we did mention it, but it shits me he's died now without confessing or.
So they knew he was at the end of his life, and they did try and get a confession out of him.
Stuck to his guns.
So
because our TikTok's gone a bit mental with people telling me that she's guilty and he's innocent and sorry,
he died an innocent man, but we don't believe that. But we've had a lot of engagement on that level because people are really passionate one way or the other.
Really. But you look at we did a lot of research on that, and because I was like, okay, if there's something here, I'm willing to hear it. But every time I just came back to
same. All right, shout-outs this week. We've got Scrunch26, Zoe, and Dossie Dugan68. Thank you very much for your comments. And then we've had a record number of Buy Me a Coffees this week too. Yes. So first of all, to Samantha Gardner, she said our podcast is her favourite and she'd only listened to 2 episones so far. Thank you, Samantha. Amanda Beasley said we are hands down her favourite podcast. Whenever I need a bit of a pick-me-up, I just go and read these comments. I'm like, oh, look at us go. M. Harris, who, by the way, you are incredible because you remembered the date of my birthday. I think she was listening to Chappelle. Oh, okay. It just coincided on the day. Right, okay, because I was like, you've either remembered or something that it's my birthday on the 10th. And she bought us coffees. She even said happy birthday in the comment. And, we're going to use it for wine, not coffee, obviously.
I think she'll be okay with that, though.
And she said she absolutely loves it when we use the word charismatic.
It has a whole new meaning now. I hear people say that now, say to something they're so charismatic. And I just well.
That's actually not a good thing.
That's not what you think that means.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. To Melissa Nauper and her bestie Annie, they always listen every Tuesday. And we have our first monthly supporter. So this is something that you can do through Buy Me a Coffee and support us monthly. And thank you so much to Erin Meets. She found us through TikTok.
Yeah.
So we love that we're getting people coming from all different channels. I was also looking at our Spotify search sort of history and how people find us through that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really interesting. A lot of people have found us by Googling like Hedley Thomas, or not Googling,
Right.
but searching for Hedley Thomas. And obviously we will come up in that because we reference him in certain
something.
episodes
Yeah,
and that
right.
kind of thing. So we are coming up more and more in searches and that kind of thing. And I think that's how some people are finding us too. So to everybody who listens, thank you so much. We cannot, we are just stoked.
Blown away by how much we've like grown. It's insane. Yeah.
We hit 100,000 listens this week as well, which is an incredible milestone for us. I remember when we first released our first episode and 50 people had listened, and we were like, oh my God, 50 people. Imagine having 50 people in a room. Oh! And now we're up to we're at 100,000 listens. So thank you to every single person who's helped us get there.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So today we are talking about the murder of Anita Cobby. This episode has been requested by so many people. It's an Australian case, and we always find that people, I mean, most of our audience are Australian or New Zealanders, and we do find that these episodes, people really love to know about people, you know, that we live and grown up in, you know, similar places to where we all live.
Well, I think too, like, this is one where it's referenced a lot, but you might be too young to know the story as well.
But then I also feel like, because, I mean, it's been a long time, but I think because of the legacy of her case, you know, when anniversaries and that kind of thing come up, her story is retold. And I think the fact that this happened nearly 40 years ago now, next year will be 40 years.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we're still talking about her is an absolute testament to her family and to the legacy that they wanted left behind for her. So we're really sort of proud to be bringing this one to everybody today. And we really do want to keep Anita's memory alive. She deserves nothing less.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So Anita Lorraine Lynch was born on the 2nd of November in 1959 in Sydney, New South Wales. She was born to her mum, Grace, and who went by Peggy.
Yeah, I love that.
Love it. And her dad, Gary. Grace was a nurse, and Gary was actually in the Air Force, and he'd served in World War II, and coming back from World War II, he did a lot of different jobs within the Air Force, but he actually ended up being a graphic designer for them.
Yeah, I love that.
So he did a lot of things, like he did training for new recruits and that kind of thing. He was just very involved, but ended his career as a graphic designer. So
that's very cool.
Man of many, many talents, I think. And my goodness, what beautiful people they are.
Oh, just salt of the earth, absolutely beautiful family.
We'll get to more of them as this story goes on. Anita had a younger sister. I think she was about 5 years Anita's junior.
Yep.
Her name's Catherine. And they were a quintessential Australian family. I've heard them described as very ordinary, but ordinary in the best possible way.
Yes.
They were a loving family, really contributing members to society. They had very, you know, strong values in terms of the way they treated other people, and just really lovely Australian family, really good people.
Yeah.
Anita grew up in Blacktown, and I mean, their house, you look at photos of their house and you're like, oh, everyone, either their grandma or someone they knew grew up in a house that looked exactly the same as their house.
Yeah.
And it was a fairly modest sort of style home, but they loved where they lived, and they really had a wonderful community around them.
Yeah.
And I think that shows in the support that the family received when all of these events eventually transpired as well, that they were very well regarded in the community, had lots of very strong friendships and family around them.
For sure. Yeah.
So I guess we'll start at the 2nd of February 1986.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
It's sort of...
Oh, should we actually go back just slightly? Because, so before the 2nd of February, so Anita, she became a nurse, but she followed in her mum's footsteps into nursing. However, she had decided after school before that she had gone and done like pageants and things too, and she was a beautiful girl. So she actually won Miss Western Suburbs of Sydney in 1979. So she could have followed a track of going down like a modelling path or what have you. She was very much looked at for that, but she decided, no, I want to do nursing. So it was what she was passionate passionate about.
Her mum actually said that she didn't actually want to be a nurse because when she was growing up and seeing what her mum had to do and the yucky things she had to do, she was like, oh, I don't know that that's for me.
Yeah.
But then after she left school, she decided that, oh, no, I actually really do love people.
Yes.
And this is a profession that will allow me to meet and be with lots of people. And so that's what sort of convinced her to go into nursing.
Yeah, because her colleagues commented very much so of like she was the nurse that she cared for her patients, but she also got to know them. So she didn't just go in and do what she had to do with the patient. She was the one who knew all the names of the kids that came in to visit them, and she knew what was going on for them back home, like, and really made them feel comfortable at hospital. And yeah, so she was genuinely an amazing nurse for, you know, doing not just the actual nursing side of it, of like the technical side of it, but just making people feel very comfortable.
And I feel like that was where her passion lay. It wasn't necessarily in the actual
nursing
administration
itself.
of the you know, the complexities of nursing. It was more
capable of doing those things. Absolutely. But yeah,
it was that human interaction that was her passion.
Yes. Yeah. So she met her future husband when she was quite young. So I think about 17 she was when she met him. So John Cobby she met. They got married in March 1982.
I love the way he describes how they met.
Yeah.
So he said he was already a nurse.
Yes.
He was already I think he's about 3 years or so older than her.
Yeah.
And so he was already working as a nurse. She was a trainee at Sydney Hospital where he was working. And he saw her in a corridor. There was a group of new trainees coming in, and he saw her in a corridor and thought, oh my God, she's so beautiful. And then they had a break or something, and she came up and spoke to him, and he was like, oh my God, like I can't believe she spoke to me. So that gave him enough courage to go up and say to her that afternoon, like, would you like to go out for dinner or go out for a coffee or something with me? And she agreed, and he was like, oh my God, I was punching above my weight. Right?
Well, that's a good relationship because you should always know that.
Yeah. So they went out for dinner that night to some restaurant, and they had such a lovely time that they actually went the very next night to the same restaurant, and then basically from that point on were inseparable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were only together for a year dating, and he proposed and they got married. So they weren't together long before getting married, but they just knew that he said, you know, she was my soulmate, like, which is just beautiful.
Yeah.
But
they had some complexities in that early part though, didn't they?
Yeah.
So Anita fell pregnant it was a little bit before their wedding. It was quite a few months before they were due to be married, but unfortunately she had a miscarriage, and they took that very, very hard. This was, although it wasn't necessarily a planned pregnancy at the time, I think it was something they both wanted, and it was something at the time that they were both looking forward to. So that really hit them hard.
Yeah.
At this time, they'd actually moved up to Coffs Harbour as well because John, while he was also a nurse, he actually trained horses as well.
Yes.
And he was incredibly successful in doing so. And he'd trained some very prominent horses who then, like, in turn, it afforded him the luxury of taking Anita and himself overseas for a significant amount of time.
Yeah, well, I love that. He won like about 10 grand, which I mean at the time, really, that's
huge.
a lot of money. Like 10 grand now is a good amount of money to have. But he won it, and he actually said to Anita at the time, I've made choices in our life, like, which moved them to Coffs Harbour to do and follow his dream of doing that. So he turned to her and he said, you make the decision this time. What do you want to do with this money? And she said, I want to travel. So they went and took the money and they went overseas and travelled.
Did they go for like a really long time?
They did, yeah.
It was like nearly a year or something.
Yeah. I mean, well, 10 grand, you know, would have been able to probably do that.
Yeah.
Back then.
God, you'd barely make it to bloody
Fiji
for that these days.
with a fam.
Yeah.
So it was enough money for them to go and travel and do all that for quite a considerable amount of time, which they had an absolute amazing time traveling, and then they came back to Australia and they sort of hit a bump in the road there where they did have very different ideas of what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So at this point they actually separated.
Yeah, so they'd come back from overseas, and I think Anita, it took her a bit to settle, whereas John settled straight away.
Well, she was really keen to keep travelling, whereas he was like, well, no, now it's time for family, and let's do that.
He wanted to have kids, And so you know, that's a massive thing to not be on the same page about.
Yeah.
So it wasn't because they fell out of love with one another.
No.
They just needed some space to figure out what they both wanted, and then it was always the plan for them to come back together.
Yeah. So they were separated. They weren't, we're getting divorced kind of situation.
No,
It was
they
like,
were still seeing one another.
Yeah, they were still seeing each other, and literally to the point where when we get to this story, they were actually talking about buying an apartment together and moving back in together and stuff.
And at this point of this, when we get to the date, which is the 2nd of Feb, was it? Yeah, in 1986. Anita had only been living back with her mum and dad for about a month at that time.
Yeah.
So it was very new, and they were already planning to move back in together.
Yes.
So they decided they couldn't live without one another. John actually says in an interview, it was in a book that he helped to write, that he realised within the first week of not living together that he couldn't live without her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she obviously felt the same way. I mean, they were heading towards moving back in together and continuing their lives together.
Yeah. But so in the meantime, like while they were separated, Anita moved in with her parents back to Blacktown to the family home. So she was commuting from Blacktown into Sydney to the hospital where she was working, and I've lost where it was.
It was Sydney Hospital.
Sydney Hospital, Sydney Hospital. Yeah. So yeah, she was commuting out to western suburbs to Blacktown. So it was a considerable journey to commute, but nothing outrageous. But that was, the way she was living at that point.
I think it's worth noting that at this time, Blacktown was an area that was experiencing an increase in crime rate.
Yes.
And it was, I guess, what had been a fairly safe family area. The landscape was really changing around this time. There were a lot of issues with drugs and weapons and fighting and that kind of thing that really, I guess, started to put people on edge. But this incident, what took place here, really changed Blacktown for good.
It really did. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. So on the day, of the 2nd of Feb in 1986, that morning, Anita had a shift at Sydney Hospital. Her shift went from 7 a.m. till 3:30 p.m. and she had 2 colleagues. One of them was her best friend, and another colleague her best friend name was Lynn Bradshaw, and they decided they'd go out for dinner that night. So Anita actually stayed back a little bit and waited for her friends to finish their shifts, but she just hung around the hospital and did a few bits and pieces. Yeah. Actually, she went to the bottle and bought a couple of bottles of wine to take, because who doesn't love a BYO restaurant? Seriously.
Oh,
it's
God.
so Aussie.
The BYO Chinese restaurant back in the 80s, 90s.
I think they went to a Lebanese restaurant. Same.
Yeah.
Also, who doesn't love a bit of Lebanese food? I mean, seriously, yes, please. Yes, please. So they'd eventually met for dinner, her and Lynn and this other friend, Lebanese restaurant, a couple of bottles of wine between them, had a really lovely night, but all of them had an early shift. Or actually, I think Anita's shift was in the afternoon.
Her shift was actually not until the afternoon that day.
But her 2 friends had the early 7 o'clock start, so they were done by 9 o'clock.
Oh, I think even 8:30 they left the restaurant. It was not planning on it. It wasn't a massive girls' night out sort of situation.
No,
it was literally
dinner
and head home sort of situation.
And a chat. And a gossip and a catch-up.
Absolutely.
And
what every girl needs.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
because on that night, John had actually contacted her during the day saying, let's go out for dinner. And she had said to him, oh, no, you know what, I've already got plans with the girls. So, and like I think they were at a point where this wasn't like she's shutting me down, doesn't want to get back together. They were at a comfortable point of like, oh, no, she's off with her friends.
See you tomorrow night.
That's good. You do you.
Yeah. And also friends.
Friends come first.
Hoes before bros.
Oh, God.
So, this was like, a lovely night for her, but just a standard, like nothing outrageous.
No.
Lynn lived not that far from where they'd ended up having dinner.
In Redfern, yeah.
In Redfern. She said to Anita that she'd drive her to the train station so that she could catch the train home.
Yeah.
At first, once all of this transpired, the police thought Anita didn't get on the train until about 9:30, but it turned out she caught the 9:06 train, I think it was, out to Blacktown from Redfern Station. And when she arrived at Blacktown, what she would normally do was either call her dad and he'd come and pick her up. Fuck, I love this. Oh, it's just so beautiful. And he's such, you could imagine him doing it too.
Totally.
Not giving a shit.
Nah.
Happy to do it.
Yep.
You know, just lovely, lovely.
Because he would have loved that little journey he had with his daughter in the car on the way from the station to home.
Yes,
he would have loved the
such
chat.
a gentleman, such a lovely, lovely man.
Yep.
But when Anita got to the payphone, it was out of order.
Yeah.
And then she went to the taxi rank and there were no taxis. So she lived about 2.5-ish kilometres from the station.
It was about a 30-minute walk.
30-minute walk.
Yeah.
So she thought she'd give it maybe it was 2 miles. Anyway, whatever. She thought it was a 30-minute walk. So she thought, well, you know, it's not a bad night. I don't have to be up super, super early the next day, so I'll walk home.
And this was the area she grew up in. This is like a very comfortable area for her.
She probably walked it 1,000 times
1,000
before.
times over from like school, you know, or whatever. You know, it was her place. It was, you know, she was in her comfort zone, I guess, too. So, yeah, and back then, I mean, to walk 30 minutes, that was nothing. Like she would have just done it. Yeah.
So while Anita and her friends were having their lovely dinner in Redfern, there were 5 men at a pub drinking in Blacktown, somewhere around Blacktown. Oh, these people.
Oh, my God.
I just can't even with these people.
No, I hearing who they are just scared the shit out of me. The thought of these 5 men in that bar together gives me the heebie-jeebies. And
do we want to go into now who these 5 men were?
Should we explain who they are?
I think so, because then you've got an idea of the exact type of
who we're coming up against.
Exactly, who she's coming up against.
Yep.
So the perpetrators of this, John Travers. John Raymond Travers was aged 18 at the time. He was considered the ringleader of this gang. Now, my God, this man is depraved to the nth degree. He had a shocking upbringing. Yeah. As a child, that is horrible, but as an adult, we choose our choices, we make our decisions, anyway, his parents were alcoholics, drug addicts. He was actually born to teenage parents. I believe his mum was like 15 when he was born.
Well, he was the eldest of 8 children.
8. Yeah. So you can imagine the type of upbringing he didn't have.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have the guiding light of, of parents who actually gave a shit. They were both drug addicts themselves and alcoholics. Yeah. And by the time he was 14, he was an alcoholic. Yeah,
and in foster care and stuff.
Yeah,
so
in and out of foster
his mum actually handed him over to Boys Town to a correctional facility when he was younger. I think he would have been about 13 or something at that point even, because she couldn't handle him.
This is the thing, like these institutions, we know what went on.
This is it only amplifies like these sorts of, he's come from a shit house, shit home, and, not being raised as he should and had love. And then he's gone somewhere which it literally just amplifies all of that no love, no care. And you're surrounded by other people who have come from the same sort of similar backgrounds that...
And we know there's institutional sexual abuse.
This is it. Those kids are just vulnerable, and so they're...
Incredibly. But then you're also putting all of these kids into a melting pot, these really troubled kids into a melting pot where they're all fucking stirring each other up.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, I mean, it is really sad because when Travers ended up going back to the family home, I mean, they lived in community housing. Yeah. And he would have to steal food because he, being the eldest of 8, they very rarely had food on the table. So he'd steal whatever he could. He'd dumpster dive for food for his siblings.
Yes.
I think it's worth noting all of this. Not that I feel sorry for his upbringing and I feel sorry for what happened to him in his upbringing as a child, but I have absolutely no sympathy for what he then went on to perpetrate. And my God, the things that this bloke did. Oh, so he was given a sheep and like a live sheep, and he invited all of his friends over and they were going to spit roast this sheep, slaughter it and spit roast it. Well, I can't even believe I'm about to say this, but before they slaughtered the sheep, he sodomized it, and while he was at the point of finishing, I'm trying to think of a delicate way to say this. There's no delicate way to say
there's
it.
not.
When he was at the point of finishing, he slit the sheep's throat, and this was in front of all of his friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think...
Apparently that he didn't only do that once. So he
And
would...
this was not just to sheep either. It was to multiple different animals.
So he used to also like going up, as I say, he used to steal food, but he would go and like steal like a chicken or, or a turkey or something from people's places and farms around the area, and he would sexually abuse them as well before killing them to eat.
I'm going to ask it.
Go for it. I know
How do you sexually abuse
I know.
a
When I
chicken?
read it, I was like, I had the same question, but I'm like, I
I'm
kind
not
of
gonna
hope
Google
they
that.
don't explain it because I actually don't want to know.
Yeah, I'm not going to Google that.
No, don't. But I don't think they anywhere explains it. It just absolutely says that
Well, I know
he sexually abused birds.
he sodomized like dogs and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, bestiality was something that he seemed to enjoy.
Anyway, okay. So
Yep.
the next perpetrator we have is Michael Murdoch.
Yep.
He was also aged 18 in 1986, and he was a childhood friend of Travers. So was he in Boys Town as well?
They were in juvenile prisons together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So he'd also experienced sexual assault in those institutions, and he was depraved, but not to the same level as Travers. I think
He wanted to be Travers though. Like, so he saw
followed
him doing
Travers-
all these things and kind of was like, oh, he's awesome. Like,
he followed Travers around like a little puppy dog, I think.
Yes,
He was
idolised him.
idolised him because I don't think Michael Murdoch had anyone else in his life to
No,
idolise.
no.
He didn't have a supportive family or anything
No.
like that. We then had the Murphy brothers. There were three of them.
Oh,
Another
God.
Michael, Gary and Les Murphy. They were an Irish-Australian family. Again, one of nine. They were three of
12.
nine. Oh, there were 12 children
There were
in that
12
family.
children in that
Oh,
family.
my God.
Yes.
Michael Murphy was aged 33 at the time.
So he was the eldest of the 12 of them. Yeah.
Yes. Now, had he escaped from prison at this point?
He was currently on the run.
on the run. Yep, yep. And I'm going to
Yep.
go and commit this horrific crime.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Gary Murphy was aged 28 at the time. He had a hearing impairment, and I think again, I feel like he just got caught up in all of this.
I would say out of the 5,
Yep.
he to me had qualities of someone who potentially could have been salvaged, like
Agreed.
if he hadn't have been mixing in with them.
Yep.
But yeah, he's the
I mean,
only has
his-
any kind of redeemable features whatsoever. Like the
Yeah.
rest of them, oh my God.
Oh my God.
But yeah,
he'd more done, I guess, more petty type crimes that didn't involve people.
He actually
stole
had,
cars and
because
stuff
he had
like
a
that.
real interest in cars. He was actually impressive with how he dealt with cars, and he held down jobs and did very well at them. And so if he had just been totally channeled in that path and removed from his siblings, like some of them anyway, he potentially could have had a life.
Yeah.
But so unfortunately got pulled into the life of crime with his siblings and things, and which meant that, he was most of his crimes prior to this were cars, stealing cars and things. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So then we had Les Murphy, who was aged 22 at the time. He was the youngest of all of the children in the family.
Yep.
And apparently he had a temper on him. Like he could flip at the drop of a hat. Like
Yes.
he was just absolutely incredibly volatile and violent and nasty and like not a nice human being. I don't think he had any redeeming features whatsoever.
He had faced the children's court on many occasions prior to this.
What for?
Mainly for theft-related offences.
Okay.
Yeah, mainly theft.
Right. Oh my God. They're just total fucking pieces of shit.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. So on the 2nd of February 1986, we've established Anita's finished work. She's gotten to Blacktown Station, decided to walk home. These 5 fuckwits were drinking at the pub. Now, mind you, none of them had gainful employment at the time. One of them was on the run from escaping prison.
Which, this is what just blows my mind, is that the 5 of them are standing in a public place, and drinking and what have you, and being, I'm sure the conversation that was being had at that snooker table or whatever they were doing also at the pub was nothing pleasant.
Oh, no.
Imagine if the cops had just walked in and nabbed that guy right then and there.
Yeah.
Because he's on the run.
Yep. That would have been amazing.
Oh, that would have been amazing. I just feel like every element of this night, for some reason.
It's just
Oh,
the unluckiest like sequence of events.
Yes.
So they've been at the pub. They've decided that they wanted to go and like maybe steal a car or something like that. They wanted to do something else, right? So as is the pack mentality with fuckwits like this, that's what they decide to do. So they've gotten in a stolen car, which they've driven to the pub.
Yeah.
And they
A HG Holden Kingswood.
A Holden Kingswood. Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
They get in the car and they realise there's no petrol in it. Do you think any of them have any money? I don't even know how they paid for their beers and stuff at the pub, but they did not have 10 cents to rub together between the five of them.
Well, their plan was when they got in their car was to go and buy drugs too, which they then realised, well, none of us have got any money to buy drugs. So I think any money they did have obviously went on the beers at the pub.
Yep.
And then it was like, well, now what? Because we want to keep going. Because this is the thing, what I'm like inferring to is this, whatever happened at that pub riled them up big time. They had got to a point of, you know what I mean? Like you can only imagine, and I literally can only imagine because I would never be involved in it, that you can just imagine the kind of things they were talking about because they got in that car and went, okay, let's go for drugs. Oh, we've got no money. Well, let's just find a chick to rape. Like
I think originally they were like, we'll find someone to rob. And then in terms of the opportunity of what became, because they saw Anita walking the streets alone.
I think there was literally a conversation in that car of like,
we're going to find
a woman.
Rape.
We want a woman to rape.
Oh,
like,
fuck me.
Oh yeah, no, it was that explicit and specific. Yeah. Like it wasn't like let's find someone to rob. It literally was, whilst we're raping someone, she might have some money on her. Like it was that was like a byproduct of that.
Bloody hell.
Disgusting.
So what they did was they snatched Anita off the street and shoved her into like the back footwell of the car at knife point.
Yeah.
Pretty much immediately they stripped her down.
So and then when they did this, so they're on like Newtown Road, which isn't it's a main road. So they're coming down that road and there just so happens though there was a house just off from there who there was a teenage girl and boy home at the time, brother and sister. They hear this woman screaming. So she wasn't exactly like quiet, no. So Anita's screaming and everything. They hear this and come out the front. The brother of the two who was older, he was yelling at the car.
When you say older, he was only 15.
Only 15. So yeah, she was like, I think the girl was 13 and he was 15 sort of thing.
Yeah.
He then, to his credit, he chased down this car because they watched her being dragged into the car. Yeah. So he's like, let her go, and running after this car. He literally grabbed, I believe, the back handle of the passenger back door, but the car sped off. So he missed that. But I mean, God, could you imagine those five guys getting out of that car anyway? Like for him, I'm kind of glad that he didn't get there because he was putting himself in danger. But good on him.
Didn't
but
know that.
He had no idea what he was walking into. Like,
a couple of things to note here is that he was so astute that he took down the number plate.
Yes.
And also they had the headlights off.
Yes.
And that enabled him to actually see into the car more easily, and he was able to identify and give the police a description of one of the people he saw in the car.
Yes.
But so while this was happening, their mum was inside the house and she called 000, our emergency services number, and gave the details to the police, which, yes, it prompted a patrol car to come around. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, he actually got the make of the car wrong. Mm. So at this time as well, his older brother, about 5 minutes after this happened, his older brother came home. Yeah. And he was driving in his car. And the brother said, "This is the car. I've just seen this. Mum's called the police." And the brother's like, "Right, I'm going out to have a look." And he had a spotlight, a big, massive spotlight. And there was a road that he knew that was quite secluded. It was a dirt road, no street lights or anything. It was kind of a local lover's lane. Well, like people would go there to make out.
Prospect Road, I think it was called, because it's now known as it's the driver. Oh my God.
Peter
Brock Drive.
Lane
it's called.
Or whatever.
Yeah, Peter Brock Drive. It's called now. Yeah.
Yeah. So so they this brother, the older brother, has gone out with this spotlight, and the brother had said to him it's an EH Holden. I don't even know.
Something
Holden.
Yeah.
But it was actually a Kingswood.
H2 Kingswood, yeah.
Whatever. So unfortunately, the brother did come across this car, which he spotlighted. It had nobody in it. He looked in the paddock that it was parked up against, didn't see anything.
He had the spotlight out and like searching everywhere. But
he's like, oh, it's not even the right car, so this probably isn't it. Turns around and he searched for hours.
Yeah.
2 hours, I think.
I think so, yeah.
And the police did the same thing, but they didn't go down that particular road anyway. Then what they now know is that at that exact time, Anita and those 5 men were actually lying down in the scrub of that paddock, and they held her at knife point to shut up.
Yep.
She was completely naked and vulnerable. She was, I can't even actually imagine how she must have been feeling at the time.
But again, if he had gone any further out and got out of the car and walked around there even, I dare say he could have been a victim too then.
I hard agree.
As
they
much
wouldn't
as
have stopped.
No, I don't think it would have stopped, unfortunately. I
hope he knows that.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, as much as I think well done to you to do what you did, but I just feel one person on their own like that wouldn't have stopped these 5 men.
No,
unfortunately.
And he possibly could have become a victim himself.
Yeah.
I mean, so brave.
And absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we know happened is that Anita was gang raped by all 5 men.
She was forced to give all of them fellatio in the car as they drove from the point of pickup to where this paddock was. They actually stopped on the way to that paddock to get fuel as well.
And she only had $10 in her wallet, so they just got $10 worth of fuel.
$10 worth of fuel and put it in the car. But whilst that was happening, they knew that obviously there was people around, and they forced her to stay quiet with the knife at her throat the whole time. So
on the floor of the footwell of the back rear seat of the car.
Yeah.
So nobody knew she was there.
The whole time this is going on, they were attacking her in every possible way you can imagine. Just absolutely disgusting. Yeah.
Horrific.
They'd stripped her naked immediately.
Yeah.
So she was so vulnerable, and in every way it was just awful.
Absolutely disgusting. After raping her, forcing her to perform oral sex on all of them in this paddock where it's, she's just out in the open on her own, they decide that she needs to be killed because she's seen all of their faces and she's heard all of their names.
Yeah.
And she begs for her life, and she puts up a fucking massive fight, so much so that she's grabbed hold of the knife and that has actually severed 3 of her fingers.
Yeah.
She was alive when that happened.
Yeah.
I can't, you cannot even imagine what she is going through at the time.
No.
They also, so Travers is the perpetrator who committed the final act of murder.
Yeah.
He slit her throat so deeply that she was essentially decapitated. He left her body face down in that paddock, completely naked, with none of her belongings around her.
Nothing.
They've then gotten back in their car, gone back to their house, or to John's house, and had a bonfire in the backyard to burn all of her belongings and the knife and anything else that they felt. I think they burnt some of their own clothing as well if it had blood evidence on it.
They then actually later take the car as well, and they left that out, burnt that out as well.
But you know what they did? You know what John did? He took the wheels off that car.
Oh, right.
Because there was some special
one of
chrome
those
something or other and put those wheels on his own car.
Oh, dickhead.
What a fuckwit.
Oh, because the whole thing was that they murdered her in the end was that they had done all these awful things to her. She'd been dragged through barbed wire fences, you name it. She had been beaten, awful things. They all decided that, well, John, I think actually said it first, was that she'll know who we are, and we've called each other by name, and so she'll be able to identify us. So we're gonna have to kill her. So the others kind of said, well, you do it, John. So because he was the one well, as we discussed, he'd done very similar things to animals, that he just considered it, I think, the same, which is just fucking awful. I don't think he took a whole lot of convincing, you know what I mean?
Oh, not at all. I think he was, happy to do
up
it.
For
I
it.
don't know, up for it, totally up for it.
So that at the moment he was the one who did that, but they were all okay with that.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, they're all culpable. They're all
absolutely.
culpable. He committed that act, but they all raped her.
Oh, they all did the rest.
They all were there when she was being stabbed and being dragged through the barbed wire fence, which caused significant injuries to her, and that would have been so painful.
So the other thing is to note that when he did slit her throat, she was conscious and alive at that point, according to the autopsy report, and that it probably took 2 to 3 minutes for her to die. Oh. Like, it wasn't like that happened and, bang out, no more pain.
I just can't.
It's awful. Like, this was at the time, and I think still it would be one of the most brutal murders that has ever taken place in Australia.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. The brutality, there were no bounds to the brutality.
No.
That night, obviously, Anita's parents were expecting her to come home. Now, it wasn't unusual for her to sometimes stay in the city with a friend if she had an early shift, but her mum knew that she had an afternoon shift the following day. They, this is in a time before mobile phones and before everyone's just instantly contactable, or you know where people are because they've posted it on social media or anything like that. So her mum phoned the friends that she knew, whose phone numbers she knew, so she knew her best friend's phone number. And she's like, oh, no, I dropped her at the station. And then and her mum was like, oh, maybe she went to see John. They called John. John said he hadn't seen her. The thing that really concerned her mum, they were already concerned. The thing that really got to her mum was when the matron from the hospital, from Sydney Hospital, phoned and said that Anita hadn't shown for her shift.
They knew immediately.
There was something wrong. So
there's no way she wouldn't just turn up to work.
That's right. So they reported her missing. At that time, they filled out a full missing persons report with a detective at Blacktown Police Station and provided a photo for that file. And I can't even imagine that night for them, because on the night, this is on the 3rd of Feb, that night they still didn't know what had happened to Anita. They had family and friends out looking for her everywhere. There was no, people, everyone was panicked, and John was beside himself.
Yeah.
So the police, at this point, I guess the missing persons squad had started to make some inquiries, hadn't gotten very far. On the morning of the 4th of February 1986, a farmer, surname Wren, what was his given name, John?
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney+.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're gonna crack this case and prove we're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
You are Gary the Snake. And your last name? The Snake.
Dream team.
And new habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home.
You're clearly working at
Zootopia 2, now available on Disney Plus, rated PG.
Oh,
As well?
no. Oh, God, I can't remember.
Can't remember.
Sorry.
Anyway, a farmer noticed that his cows were milling about in a really unusual area. And then a little bit later on, he's like, oh, they'd moved away. But then when he came back out again, they were milling around in that same area, which was quite unusual.
Yeah.
He decided to jump on his four-wheeler and go over there and
check it out.
And he came across Anita's body. Obviously, he knew immediately that she was deceased.
Yeah.
And so he moved his cows away and went back to the farmhouse to contact the police, and went and waited for them with her body. The police came immediately, and when this report went in to, I don't know, whatever communications delivery system that the police had at the time, the missing persons detective was like, oh, that actually sounds like
It's Anita.
And it's Anita. I took that report from her parents yesterday. This is far too coincidental. So he goes out there with that photograph and basically makes a visual identification. The only piece of identifying anything on Anita at the time was her wedding ring, which was a very distinct Russian wedding band. Have you ever? I've actually got one.
Yeah.
It's a ring that's got three, and you have to know how to put them together in order to wear it.
Yeah. There's like a white gold, yellow gold, rose gold, like they're all different color golds that go together. Like it's they're really beautiful.
They're beautiful, really stunning. But I think at the time fairly unique.
Very unique at the time. They became really popular again after this, really, because I used to sell them when I was working in jewellery. Yeah, all the time. They were very popular. But but probably at this point it would have been very unusual, especially someone who's not got Russian descent. But yeah, they were a very unusual choice, but beautiful. Yeah.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
So the police actually decided to take the ring off Anita's hand, or who they suspected was Anita's hand, and take it to the family for identification. And they get to the Lynch's home in Blacktown, and Catherine and Gary and Grace were all there, and I believe John was there at the time as well.
I think so. Oh, no, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
He was off driving around. I think he almost hit Gold Coast kind of sort of stuff, looking for her, because he was in the car when a report came over that a body had been found.
That's right.
And
that's when he went straight back.
Yes.
So Gary and Grace had a look at the ring, and they were not 100% sure.
Because she said,
Catherine had a look at it, and she's like, "Oh, I don't think this is it because it's rusty."
Got rust on it.
It wasn't rust. It was blood.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but as soon as John, when he did get home, he saw it and he immediately was that's definitely Anita's.
That's Anita's.
No question.
Yeah. So it was then decided that Gary would be the best person to attend the morgue. And
originally, Grace said, "I'm a nurse. I've seen dead bodies. I'll go." And the detective actually turned to her and said, "You're not. I'm not letting you do it."
Yeah.
And he actually wouldn't let her do it. So that's when Gary said, "Well, it'll have to be me."
Yeah.
Which, I mean, either parent's not great, but I appreciate that detective's thought for the mum. I don't know, just
can't even,
because he knew how bad it was.
That's right. He knew the state of her body.
Yeah.
And nobody should ever have to see a loved one like
Gary,
that.
I mean, he buckled at the knees and pretty much passed out when he saw her.
But the detective even said that he cried. The detective cried when he was hugging Gary, because he'd never seen anything so horrific in his life, and he could tell already that this family was just a beautiful, loving, caring family. Immediately on the 6th of Feb, the New South Wales state government announced a $50,000 reward immediately for the capture of her killers, which I think at the time was unprecedented in terms of value. And also how quickly they put that up. But there was outrage right from the get-go.
Well, particularly what brought the outrage was that John Laws, who a very famous radio jock here in Australia, shock jock big time, he got hold of somehow the autopsy report. And
he's still to this day, well, you know, even for 30 odd years after, he would not reveal his source of how he got this autopsy report.
Which, I mean, to his credit, you know, that's probably why he was able to get hold of these things, because people knew he wouldn't, you know.
He was trustworthy.
Trustworthy in that he wouldn't give their names, but he gave away the information.
Yeah, that's it.
But he got hold of the autopsy and decided, like, he was like, no, the public need to know this. And so he revealed the autopsy report basically on his radio show, and people were mortified that a murder and brutality of this level was going on in their community. And so the public really were like furious that this had occurred.
Yep. I believe there was something like 16,000 phone calls to the radio station in the subsequent week or something like that. Support or an insane amount of phone calls. Unfortunately, though, when he read this autopsy report live on air, Grace and Gary still hadn't been briefed about a lot of the information that was contained within. Yeah. So they heard for the first time on radio that she'd been decapitated. They didn't know that. Her fingers had been severed. They didn't know that, because when Gary went to identify her body, it was just her face.
Just her face, yeah.
It wasn't her whole body.
No.
So he hadn't seen the extent of her injuries.
Yeah.
They knew she'd been raped, but they didn't know how horrific the injuries resulting from those rapes were.
Yeah.
So it was, look, Grace actually said later on in her life it was a blessing in disguise because it got action very, very quickly and because of the outrage of it. But for her at the time, it was too much.
Oh, Absolutely. I completely get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Awful.
Yeah. So the police decide, in order to try and catch these fucktards, that they were going to do a reenactment. And Constable Debbie Wallace reenacted Anita's side of things. They filmed it. She was wearing the same outfit, carrying the same bag, to see if anybody had seen anything that they could come forward with information.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the police were then marrying up the report from those teenagers and their mum. And that teenage boy, he blows my mind, that 15-year-old boy, because he was able to get he got the exact number plate. He got the number plate right. He got the model
a bit wrong, but
he got the number plate right.
Most important bit, yeah.
And in this, in all of this, they actually found the car that had been burnt out, found that it was that car. They were then able to, now, how did it work? They were able to link Travers to to stealing that car.
There was a tip-off from the actual theft of the car of being Travers.
Travers. But also they then, at that point, that's when they found the wheels from the stolen car on his car.
Yes.
Dickhead. And they sort of started to put the pieces together like this. So they've then brought in Travers for an interview.
Yep.
And because the Murphy brothers and what's the other guy's name? Michael Murdoch were all known associates. And they'd been seen together that night, the five of them. They ended up bringing them all in for interview over that next, when was it? That was the 21st of February. They were able to put all this together.
Yeah.
So pretty bloody quick, to be honest, given that, the technology they were dealing with isn't like what we are today.
Like 22 days between her body being found and all five of them being in custody.
Yeah. Which is incredible.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Well, and the other thing was that they did get all five of them. It originally brought them all in for questioning. They released the three of them, being Murdoch and the two younger Murphy brothers. Yeah. However, Travers and the older Murphy, Michael Murphy, they kept them in custody because they found every bit they could to keep them in because they feared how dangerous they were.
Yeah.
So the other three, they kind of were, they're still on our radar. We're just releasing them because we can't hold them, but they weren't.
When they were released, though, they were put under 24-hour surveillance.
Yeah, still put under surveillance, but to the point of they actually didn't even feel that having 24-hour surveillance on Travers and Michael Murphy was enough.
Well, Michael Murphy was a prison escapee, so they could easily keep him in
They could easily keep him in. The only thing they could get Travers on was, I think the tires helped, but also his story just kept changing and it didn't add up a few of his things that he was saying, whereas the other boys kind of had their story pretty solid, whereas Travers kept jumping all over the place, and so they used that to their advantage to keep him in custody because they were basically he'll offend again 100%, which thank God
they did.
Oh my God, because they got it right, because he was an evil piece of shit.
Evil piece of shit.
Yeah.
So what happened then was Travers was in custody and he decided he needed some cigarettes and a few bits and pieces to keep him going.
Yeah.
And so he called who was then known as Miss X or Mrs. X to bring these things to her. And the police said to her, try and find out what happened.
She came in and she was sort of a bit of an ex-drug user. She was trying to get her life on track a little bit. So the cops realised that she was...
she was Trevor's auntie.
Yeah. So she was part of the family and all that sort of stuff, and she knew that she was in a position of trust, but at the same time she really didn't want to be part of that world.
No.
So they really used that to their advantage. She already was forthcoming with them saying, I think you did it.
Yeah.
So they were like, right, we think we might be able to use you.
Yep.
So they were able to send her in wired up.
Well, the first time she wasn't.
No, first time she wasn't, but she had a conversation with him. She came out from that conversation going, yeah,
he
did this.
He just told me.
Yeah. So that was when they went, right, can we try and get this on tape? So that she was like, yeah, I'll go back in again. And they wired her all up and sent her back in again. And you can actually hear those tapes now.
I mean, he's whispering.
He's whispering.
but you can hear it very clearly.
It's very clear what he says, and he confesses to the fact that he was the one that murdered her, and names the other all 4 others, and their part in it. He's very clear at that point
and open. He just states it. Like it's just so matter of fact. It's unsettling.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really, oh God. Well done to Miss X. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't an easy place for her to be in.
She had to go into witness protection after this because obviously it was then found out that they had his confession recorded, and of course he knew it was her because he'd confessed to her.
He had that conversation with her. Yeah.
So she was in witness protection because she'd actually gone home a day or 2 later, and friends of Travers were there trying to get her already.
Yeah.
So she was in she put herself in a very vulnerable position doing that, but
Definitely.
thank goodness she did, because that ensured that Travers and at least Michael Murphy would remain in custody pending whatever
trial
next.
to come or something. Yeah.
So it wasn't until 1987 that the trial began, and just before the trial, Travers pled guilty. So he'd been pleading not guilty all the way up.
They were all pleading not guilty previous to this. Yep.
Yep. And just before the trial began, Travers pled guilty. So that's something, I guess. It meant that was one less that the prosecution had to worry about.
But I mean, it was so airtight, which obviously his counsel obviously were able to convince him of that, of going, you've got no chance here, mate.
Yeah,
like you've literally confessed and they've got it on record. Like,
they were all tried together. The remaining 4 were all tried together.
One of the big issues though originally was because that happened, because he pled guilty, there was a news article that was released, and in that news article, they printed in it saying that Michael Murphy was an escapee, and that he had no fixed address, yada yada, and he had all of his criminal convictions that he had prior.
Yeah.
And so that meant they actually had to excuse the jury they had sitting ready for the other 4 to be tried. Yeah. So they had to start again in terms of getting another jury because they'd been exposed to that information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it all worked out in the end because they were all found guilty, and the judge sentenced all 5 of them to life in prison without the ability of being released.
Yes. Which
thank God for that.
Absolutely. He actually had also said that the executive should grant the same degree of mercy they bestowed on their victim. So they were actually given absolutely no possibility for parole.
Yeah.
It was Justin Allen Maxwell who presided over the trial. He was absolutely horrified by the physical and sexual assault that had taken place. He said it was the worst he had ever seen in his many years on the bench. And so nothing compared to it. He was absolutely mortified by what these 5 people had done. Oh, just
Anita's
horrific.
family attended every single day of the trial.
Yeah.
I can't, again, imagine how difficult that would have been to relive every last detail of what happened to their precious daughter.
No way.
The jury were taken to where Anita's body was found, and so they were very thorough in all of what was presented at the time. And I think the jury absolutely made the right call, and then the judge in his sentencing, it couldn't have been anything else really.
No.
Given how disgusting the crime was.
Absolutely. So even to this day, as far as we are aware, John Travers is in Wellington Correctional Centre in maximum security. So he would be, in his 60s, early 70s maybe even?
So 60s. He'd be 60s, yeah.
60s. He has been moved around a fair bit, but we don't get information on that. But he's still alive, and this is basically just, it's all the information you will get in terms of what's going on for him in prison. Michael Murphy, he was, I should say, unfortunately, diagnosed with liver cancer.
No.
I don't know. I
hope it was bloody painful.
Yeah. So he died in 2019 at the age of 66. So he has unfortunately passed away and no longer in prison. But either way, whereas the others, so we've got Gary Murphy, Les Murphy and Michael Murdoch, who all currently, I believe, at Goulburn Correctional Centre in maximum security. So they continue to see out their time for their life sentencing in prison, which is all they deserve.
A few of them were temporarily moved to medium security prisons, but then got shoved straight back to maximum security. So you just think, what kind of fucking scum are they in being in prison? What kind of nastiness? See, this is the thing, that there's no hope of them ever getting out, so they don't give a fuck.
Well, no hope of them ever getting out. Travis did attempt to escape. So he was being moved at the time from
legally getting out.
being moved, transported from Goulburn to Long Bay. And there was him and another prisoner who they had a hacksaw, and they were kicking in the back door of the divvy van or wherever they were being transported in. So the police at the driving the vehicle realised what was going on in the back and pulled into a local police station and thwarted the attempt. So due to that, so he ended up being moved. He spent longer, I think, apparently at Long Bay than he was meant to, or something like that. But yeah, I don't know.
So
really. What do you get on top of life?
I think that's it. Yeah. I think he spent a lot of time in solitary confinement.
Yeah.
The reason they were going to Long Bay though was because they were attending the medical facility there.
Yeah,
for some kind of procedure.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that ended up happening. So I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
nobody knows what.
He was arrested and charged, but what else can you do to someone who's got life in prison? I don't know. It feels like that's
thing.
the.
I guess it's solitary. I don't know.
Yeah.
One good thing to come out of all of this is that the families of Anita and also the family of a young girl named Ebony Simpson. She was 9 years old. She was abducted after getting off her school bus, and she was raped in New South Wales as well, and left to drown in a dam. It's a horrific case.
Yuck.
Her parents, Christine and Peter Simpson, along with Gary and Grace Lynch, founded the Homicide Victims Support Group. Now, this happened in the year that Ebony was murdered, which is in 1992. They established this, and this helps families of homicide victims in terms of accessing support and things that you need in that immediate aftermath of the shock of going through something like that. And at the time, there was nothing like that within New South Wales police force or even external bodies that had that kind of support for people. So it was something you had to try.
Eczema is unpredictable, but you can flare less with Ebglyss, a once-monthly treatment for moderate to severe eczema. After an initial 4-month or longer dosing phase, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin at 16 weeks. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
You always want the best for your family, and that means only Eggland's Best Eggs in your kitchen. Compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best Eggs contain 6 times more vitamin D, 25% less saturated fat, more than double the omega-3s, 10 times more vitamin E, and more than double the vitamin B12. So why give your family less when they can have the best? Add Eggland's Best Superior Nutrition to your next grocery list. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
And find access to yourself if that was something that you needed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Look, it's a club that nobody would ever want to be in, but their parents united in their grief and in wanting to create a lasting memory for their daughters. So in establishing this, Anita's family also decided to create a place that they've named Grace's Place. It's a world-first residential trauma recovery centre for children affected by homicide, and it actually only opened, I think, in 2023, February 2023, and it was partially funded by the New South Wales government and by a victims of crime sort of compensation thing, and it is owned by the Homicide Victim Support Group of Australia.
Yep.
And they have in Blacktown, the land was donated by Blacktown City Council, and it is a world first state of the art facility. Please go on their website and have a look and donate if you can.
Yeah.
You can donate as little as like a little hamper for a child in need, all the way up to meals for families who have been impacted by homicide.
Yep.
And providing that sort of really critical care. And it just looks like a really safe and healing place for people to go.
Oh, interesting.
Really beautiful. And people, anybody at any stage of trauma recovery can access Grace's Place and the Homicide Victim Support Group. So, I think, if you can support, that's a really good one to go and have a look at.
Amazing. Well done to them. They are just a really lovely family who didn't deserve any of this. Because on that as well, John Cobby, I believe he changed his name to Andrew.
To John Francis.
Oh, right. Okay. I don't know where I got Andrew from. No. So he changed his name and everything just out of respect for Anita. I feel like that's what he felt like he needed to do. I don't
know. So I actually
did you find out?
Yes, I've read part of his book.
Yep.
So I didn't actually have time to read the whole thing.
No.
But I did read this part because I found this. I think this is another thing where, the ripple effect of crime and how it affects people. So within 3 months of Anita's death, John was a heroin addict.
Oof.
He'd lost his job. He had nothing really else going for him.
Right.
He couldn't stand the limelight and everybody asking him about Anita, so he changed his name and he moved overseas.
Yes.
He then did come back to Australia, still as John Francis. He remarried and he had children. And
he's got a couple of kids.
Yeah, and it was actually when his children were teenagers that a news, I think it might have even been around the 30th
anniversary. He watched like it's a really good documentary, a storytelling of Anita Cobby, and he watched it. And he was sobbing watching it,
and his kids
didn't know anything about this to do with him, and he had to tell them who he was and his connection to that story. So, he chose to at that moment, but it was.
He's then changed his name since back to John Cobby, and he still says to this day he loves her, and
he says still a soulmate.
His soulmate,
which is just awful. He regrets the separation that they had, and believes that if that didn't happen, then she'd be alive. And he really took that very hard.
This isn't your fault, John.
No.
This is the
That's
fault
life.
of those 5 absolute scum. Who chose to do this.
They are literally the absolute bottom feeders of the world. Are just awful people.
I actually just can't.
They are exactly where they belong.
I hope they all die slow and painful deaths.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, the system failed them, as children, and as in those those foundation years, and trying to get back to there's those points of interaction where they should have occurred for them, and unfortunately that then brings them to be adults who then do these kind of heinous acts.
I understand where you're coming from, and sometimes I feel like I can have sympathy for people's, you can't choose who you're born to and the circumstances into which you're born. And, we're so fortunate for the fact that we've both grown up in really great families, and we've got a lot going for our lives, and we didn't choose this. We're just lucky to be born into this.
Yeah.
However, there are so many people in the world who are born into very unfortunate situations and unfortunate families and have horrific upbringings, who then don't go on to brutally rape and murder a completely innocent young woman.
Yeah.
There's choice in this.
Absolutely.
There's like a core of evil in these people.
Yeah.
I don't have sympathy for them at all.
No, I don't as adults.
As adults. As children, of
heartbreaks for what happened to them in their life, but there's got to be points where, as a person, as a person with humanity, why would you want that for someone else? Like, why would you want to do that to someone? I just can't. No.
I just, no.
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
So, in talking about all of this, we are keeping Anita's memory alive, which is what her mum and dad wanted. They've both since passed away.
Yeah.
So all they wanted in life was to have Anita's memory, have Anita remembered. And her sister Catherine is, she's actually a member of the board of Grace's Place. She's very sort of, I guess, vocal in the media whenever, she's interviewed a lot, especially on anniversaries and that kind of thing, in order to keep Anita's memory alive and to remember the amazing and beautiful woman that she was. And also, I guess, to think of what the world missed out on for the fact that she was taken, at such a young age.
Yeah.
And before she'd had the opportunity to really, really shine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so sad.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
I actually found myself in researching this. It got me. It really got me in just the brutality of it.
Yeah.
And all she was doing was trying to walk home.
Walking home from work.
She wasn't doing anything.
Mm-mm.
Not that anyone deserves this no matter what they do, but
matter what.
she was just in the absolute wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, that's, as I say, every point of that night put this together. And it's like, what the hell? Like, it's so shit. That phone had been working, like.
Or if there was a cab at the cab rank. Or if she'd caught that later train.
Yeah. Or that car's fuel had run out even sooner, because they were on empty.
Or because her friend had offered to have her sleep over too, but then she was like, oh, no, I don't want to get up at 7 when you're going to work. I want to go and sleep in a bit.
Yeah.
So many things. So many things.
That fucker hadn't been at that police, had been in custody rather than an escapee from prison.
Exactly.
I mean, for fuck's sake.
And I think Travers was out on bail at the time too.
Quite possibly. They're actually, I don't think I can't find it now, but between the 5 of them.
Oh, it was 50.
50 prior convictions.
Yes, 50.
Like, they were so on the radar of the cops already, like these guys. So that's where I just kind of go, it's the combination of all 5 of them. Like, individually they were pieces of shit, Then you put all 5 of them in one place at one time. Like, oh God, like that. To me, like as a thinking of a police officer walking in on that, you just go, "Well, sweet, take all of you." Like, made our job so easy to put you all in one place at one time. But they weren't there to get them. Like it was just, I don't know.
Horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
All right. Next week we are going to be covering the case of Shannon and Chris Watts.
Yeah.
This one is, oh my gosh, that's a hard one too. Actually,
it is going to be a tough one.
Involves children, unfortunately. So stay tuned for that one.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Well, when I say enjoyed, we hope you got something out of it because, as we said, legacy is everything in these instances. And we hope we've done justice to Anita and to her family.
Yeah.
And we thank you very, very much for listening, as we always do. Please keep those comments coming. We love it. We've had a few people ribbing us for certain things. And I'm like, yep, we've made it.
Bring it.
Keep your comments constructive though, people.
Oh, God.
Only things we actually can change. We're good at deleting things. So,
I actually don't. I think I've only deleted 1 comment so far, and it was because it was just completely disgusting.
It was revolting.
It was revolting. And if I'm saying that, that's saying something.
We'll take it.
Yeah. All good.
All publicity is good publicity.
That's right.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Stay curious, crime besties.
Bye.